Another edition of Leafs Nation After Dark. A massive Game 6 victory after what was a unnecessarily sweaty one here tonight. 2-0 lead. You got goals from the big boys. Matthews, Nylander. All of a sudden you're feeling this team is different. Anthony Stolarz lets in a Freddie Anderson, Ilya Samsonov type goal. And you're sitting here going, oh shit, here we go again. And yet it doesn't end up being the case. A goal from Max Pacioretty, who was debatably probably not the right guy, who should have been in the lineup here tonight. My guy Xavier was here next to me the whole time, kept saying, Pacioretty, he shouldn't play another shift. And I kept thinking, X, you're right. He shouldn't play another shift. And then there you go, the go-ahead goal, and none other than William Nylander to close it out with the 4-2 victory on his 29th birthday. An amazing night if you're a Maple Leafs fan, something you've got to be happy about, something you've got to be proud about to at least close this thing out and not have to go to Saturday night because, I mean, at the end of the day, a Saturday Game 7, if it was all of us, I would have not only been wearing dark pants, I probably would have been wearing a diaper. I probably would have been pretty concerned about what was going on with this team and their ability to close things out. I would have been very, very, very scared. Very scared. That's an understatement for how I would have felt going into Saturday night. We'll break it all down here tonight on the Leafs Nation After Dark, live from an absolutely buzzing Greta Bar YYZ, downtown Toronto, 590 King Street West. But I thought that there was one man who should be on here for the post-game show tonight who is going to help us break everything down better than probably anybody in Leafs Nation. If there was anybody who's going to have a pulse on tonight's game and who was going to have an idea about what was going on, it was going to be this man. And I don't want to keep him waiting for much longer. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get to our Ninja Crispy hotline, presented by the Ninja Crispy 4-in-1 Portable Glass Air Fryer.
Meet the first of its kind, the Ninja Crispy Portable Cooking System. The power of a full-sized air fryer in the palm of your hand. So you can cook big or small batches. Just prep it, crisp it, serve it, and store it all in one.
It's an all-in-one system that includes 4-quart, 6-cup Tupperware glass containers and 2 storage lids. And Ninja Crispy is thermal shock resistant and can go from frozen to crispy in minutes. With a Crispy Power Pod, you get the power of a full-sized air fryer in the palm of your hands. The 4-quart container fits 4 pounds of chicken or veggies. Cook a personal-sized meal in 7 minutes in the 6-cup container. Max Crisp. Bake, air fry, and re-crisp. With the Ninja Crispy, you can prep, cook, and store anything from crispy favorites to one-dish meals. Visit their website in the link in the description and stay tuned for a chance to win a free Ninja Crispy for one of our lucky fans. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's welcome to the stage the man who represents Leafs Nation at this point, probably better than myself, Alberga, producer Vic. That would be Jay Rosehill. Rosie, how are you feeling after a 4-2 Game 6 victory to send the Toronto Maple Leafs to the second round?
I didn't know who you were introducing there. I was like, who do we got tonight, baby? I'm in a good mood, man. I'm not getting any better at this. I'm pacing around and friggin' don't know where to sit or what to do with my hands. Feeling good, though. Those guys got tested, man. It wasn't easy. There was adversity. And then just everything about what they needed to do, they did, in fact, do. There's a plethora of storylines. I'm feeling good, man. They had to get that done in 6. They really did. You know, you could drop the ball here or there, fine. 6 games. A lot of people predicted. Yeah. I'm all right with it. 7's no bueno. You can't lose 3 in a row to them or else you just got too many things going on upstairs. They exercised some demons. They got over the hump. It's all good, man. I'm feeling pretty solid. Feeling ready for Florida. It's going to be a huge test, man.
Rosie, I said if this thing went to 7, I would have probably been wearing diapers. I would have been wearing dark pants. I might have been in a dark room until Saturday night because of the nerves that were going through. And you know what? They tested me. Not only did they get tested tonight, holy fuck, Rosie, they tested me. I'm sitting there, I'm looking at producer Vic. This guy, puck goes in off of Stolarz' head. It ties the game. I'm like, oh shit. Vic's going to be on. He's going to be doing his Ninja Crispy hot take tomorrow. He's going to be telling you guys we should never see Stolarz again. I'm like, this is going to be a bad place. But they close it out. Like, look, who knows what happens against Florida? That'll be something we get to in the coming days here as we find out what the schedule is. I mean, Alberga was here. He said to me before he left, he's like, by the way, this thing could be Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'm like, thanks, Nick. The score tonight could have been 4-1 Leafs, 4-2 Leafs, 4-2 Sens. Like, I don't know. But, it's like it could be coming up soon. We'll talk more about what happens against Florida in the coming days. But you found a way to win this one here tonight, Rosie. What does that do for your confidence level of these guys that in years past, in games past, I mean, even back to Game 5, you're wondering, can they or can they not get it done?
That's just it, right? Like, it's going to be a close game. Ottawa is solid. They're a young team, but they've got lots of heart. They're going to be good down the road, and they were giving them the test. Their biggest problem was, could they get the goal that they needed, and can a big boy step up when they need them? And right out of the gates, Austin Matthews on the power play. I mean, I was thinking that was kind of a chintzy goal until I saw the replay, and he's just like, oh, there's a little puck-sized hole between the skate and the post.
It was an Austin Matthews goal, Rosie. It was an Austin Matthews goal.
He was curling it in there. Just let me slide this one along. And that got him off on the right foot. But before that, after that, they're hitting posts. Like, how many posts are these guys going to hit? I can count 5 posts in the last couple of games that are difference makers in this series. That's the kind of shit that they've had in the past where it comes back to haunt them. Yeah. And it's like, oh, the curse and the hockey gods, and it's not our fucking, all this bullshit comes out. That was even happening tonight, right? It's not like, well, everything went their way tonight, so, you can't expect that in the future. They got all kinds of shit thrown at them, and Matthews came out, Nylander came out. I was hard on him the first period. He was floating around like a dickhead again. I was like, maybe your brother should have fucking played, because I was like, there's no way he's going to do this again. But he knew what he was doing better than I did. And comes up big, man. Comes up really big. Like, he just kind of waits like a little snake in the weeds and then pops. And sometimes it doesn't happen. He looks bad. I don't really love that way of going, but he's Willie, man. He does Willie things, and he was a huge difference maker tonight. JT could have been on there. Matthew Knies, like, you notice how they dump the puck and chase it? I mean, it's not really indicative of this team, but they're clearly talking about North hockey, pucks deep. And I see Matthew Knies just high-stepping, and I just get hard waiting for him to put a guy through the end boards or just turn it over and throw it out front to whoever. It's nice, man. They're turning pucks over, playing a gritty playoff style, which is not anything they've been used to doing. Yeah. It paid off tonight, man, and I hope they got some good juju and exercised some demons, because they've got a beast waiting for them in Florida.
Yeah, they do. And you know what? Like, my thoughts after the last game, I'll be really honest with the Leafs chat, because they're going to look at me here tonight and they're going to be like, this is the asshole who after Game 5 was saying they've got no shot. And you know what? I don't want to have that conversation here tonight. Let's talk about the win that you just experienced. And Rosie, one of the biggest things, you talked about the Nylander stuff, and you talked about him getting the 2. One of them is obviously an empty net, but Rosie, this is a closeout game. We know the stats. 1 in 13 after Game 5 there. You lose that one. On top of the 1 in 13, Mitch Marner, 5 assists, 14 closeout games. Even more so, actually, if you look at Games 5, 6, 7. You look at Matthews, his numbers. Tavares, his numbers. It's always William Nylander who's doing things, who, by the way, gets 2 fucking goals here tonight. Like, just dropping his nuts on the city of Ottawa's forehead with their tiny fucking screen outside of the Canadian Tire Center that you got to drive 40 fucking minutes to, but that's besides the point. It's not just Nylander here tonight, Rosie. Austin Matthews on the board. Who assists it? Nylander and Marner. Nylander, 2 assists here tonight. You know, Pacioretty gets on the board. It's 3 goals from your big boys here tonight. I mean, as far as this one goes, you'd got the power play goal. You'd like to not give up the penalty kill goal that ties the game on the prawn off the back of Stolar's head. But for the most part here, man, I think you got a lot of the things you were asking for from these guys to be able to close out a game, close out a series. Is that, would you agree with that?
Yeah, how do you not? They got it done. You know, other guys stepped up, like Scott Laughton looked good tonight. He coulda, woulda, shoulda buried there once or twice. He was noticeable. That block at the end's ridiculous.
Oh,
I mean,
dude.
You see that prick wind up, down Broadway, and I'm just waiting for the net to bulge and fucking throw something because we're used to it, man. We're used to just being a day late and a dollar short, but that guy lays his body on the line and gets that big block. Pacioretty, it only takes one little thing. Domi was unnoticeable. I mean,
that third
Nick
line was bad.
He was tweeting that they're unplayable, and I was like, I don't think I've seen Holmberg on the ice. Like
I know
he might be a guy that comes out for somebody.
Yeah.
But Domi digs out that puck, centers it, and you get it on net right on the corner. It was kind of like some of the goals that the Sens have scored on us, just through traffic and whip a little flat puck on your blade and let her fucking turn over knuckle puck style on net, and it goes in. That was huge. And for all the people chirping Pacioretty, he comes up big, and that's that clutch factor. That's that experience. That's that guy without, not playing 22 minutes, but you give him a chance and he knows what to do with it because he's been there and done that, and he's been a goal scorer, and he's kind of reinvented himself. And Craig Berube knows what he's doing. Again, they're playing totally differently than they have in the past. Back in the day, they never would have dumped any of those pucks. I know it's kind of hard to watch sometimes. It's prettier and funner and more exciting to watch them do other things out there, but they chase those fuckers down, especially like a Matthew Knies, and they turn it over, man. They turn it over and create mayhem and then get the cycle going. Then someone's on a line change while two guys muck it up, and then he comes down Broadway and you hit him with it, and that's a goal. I mean, it all starts with that smart play that doesn't end up going the other way, and that is all Craig Berube. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's effective, and it's playoff hockey, and it turns into stuff that you want to see, in my opinion.
My guy X is here beside me. He's probably going to join me in a bit and help me break this one down as well. We got people here at Greta Bar who are pumped up. But Rosie, I mean, to that point, you talk about the big block by Laughton. Media availability is going on here right now, post-game, and they asked Craig Berube about Scott Laughton in the block, the late block in the game, and he says, that's how you win a series. Dude,
ooh, baby.
It's the buy-in. It's the buy-in. It's winning your minutes. It's being effective. It's knowing the role that you play. Like, how many times do we bring these guys here, and it's like they're trying to fit into something they're not. They're trying to do a little bit more because maybe they're under the spotlight. They're on the Leafs. They're in the big moment. And it's like, you get away from your game. Brandon Carlo comes here. He plays Brandon Carlo hockey. Chris Tanev comes here. He plays Chris Tanev hockey. Scott Laughton comes here. He was one of the best players. I know he didn't score a goal in this series, but Rosie, he was one of the best players. I stand by it in this entire series here so far. I mean, we look at him again here tonight, and I kept saying, holy fuck, that fourth line looks good. He comes up with that block. Holy fucking shit. Like, what a block by Scott Laughton, and it's being recognized in the coach postgame. Like, these are just things that it feels like you just don't see, don't feel, don't experience with the team of the past. We'll get to the Florida stuff. That's obviously something that'll get broken down, especially on Morning Take tomorrow. But for right now, to win this game, there's things going on that are breaking Leafisms, breaking Leafy things to happen, and it feels good right now, Rosie.
Yeah, it does. I mean, again, they were like that last goal with 6 minutes left off of Stoley's kind of shoulder back. A big tendy like him's got to hug his.
I was worried about Vic's health at that point, by the way.
I know. I can imagine the people around Leafs Nation just like, here we go again. Like, this is how it happens. Nick texts us as they're cursed. Like, what else you say? That piece of shit goal from behind the goal line with 6 left. I was fully prepared for overtime, and the inevitability that they might lose this game sunk in, where I thought they were in control and I really thought they were going to pull it off. It sunk in. I'm like, fuck, what if they score again before the third period? I mean, it's shatter time. Like, you're shattered. It doesn't even matter about Game 7, sure, whatever happened. But, like, the whole deal's shattered at that point. But they overcome that, and they regroup, and they score a minute and 40 or whatever it was later, which is not something they've been able to do before. They can't get off their heels. They're looking at each other with that dumb fuck look. Everyone's scared. Everyone's nervous. Everyone's wondering who's going to do something about it. Meanwhile, the fucking horn goes and their season's over. They didn't do that this time, and it's all those little things that we're talking about that Craig Berube's instilled, that these players they've brought in have made habits that gets them over that hump. It's not a huge difference. It's not like you turn into the 80s Oilers all of a sudden. It's just you get that little goal with 3 minutes left where normally you'd kind of be half collapsed. And it shows a little bit of maturity. It shows that they've been through some things. It shows that they've got it. And again, after tearing them apart after game 5, which was gross, and I was starting to wonder, like, maybe these, like, even on their own or together, these stars don't have it in them. They're the wrong combo of guys. That you got a bunch of guys that don't have any balls, don't have any heart, don't have any grit, don't have any finish, aren't superstars, and we've seen it 8 years in a row, and maybe that's just what it is, and we have to come to grips with that, which some people have done long ago. But that aside, they get more cracks at it. They had to do it tonight, and they came through. So now there's light. Now there's hope. Now they've shown. Now they have traction, and we'll see if they can bring that in. Like a guy like Scott Laughton, I think he could be a difference maker in the Florida series. He's got his feet under him. He's comfortable.
He looks good, Rosie.
He's got confidence now. Guys like that are going to make a difference. Guys like Domi, who did dig that one out from behind the net and center it for the game winner. Shit like that is what makes a difference. And if you got Poppy scoring when he needs to, Willie doing that kind of shit, Mitch kind of chips in behind the scenes. I'd like to see him kind of superstar it a little bit and like play some F-off hockey. He doesn't seem to be able to get real flashy stuff done, which is kind of what he is, flashy. It's not really like that in the playoffs. It's more blast through. But I mean, he needs to elevate as well. Everyone needs to pop it up a notch, because you got the Florida Panthers. They're gonna be goddamn good. They're gonna be better than the team you just faced. But hopefully, like I said, they've got some traction here and they can apply it game 1 and really show everyone that, hey, we're gonna make a run at this big boy team. And if they do that, ooh, I don't even want to say where I think they're going to go.
Oh, I know. We'll see what happens as it goes further. I'm still reluctant to just jump. Like, I'm getting you and I are you're getting roasted too. I'm going to be honest. You're in there with me right now. Oh, L Easy in the chat. Look at these guys are back on the bandwagon. I'm a little bit reluctant to just jump right back in and get super, super horny, but the way that this game was played here tonight, it gave us some scary shit. Hey, by the way, just a quick side note. Would that not have been the most Leafy thing of all time if Nylander couldn't play tonight?
I was thinking, only in Leafland would some stupid goddamn clerical error, like that would just be the cherry on top of last year. He's got a headache and Austin's just not going, and Wool, your goalie,
Wool's
that's
not playing 7.
He can't play either. Wool's not. A handful of guys aren't going to play in game fucking 7 like that. It would have been just so Leafy for an elimination game and they accidentally wrote down his brother's name, so he's out tonight. Like, it would be like a fucking comedy, man.
Dude, we're sitting here and like most things that happen, me, Nick, Vic, you know, like we know how to answer, and we're sitting here with like people who came to Greta to watch the game. We're sitting here with our friends. It happens, and they're like, what's happening? What goes on? Like, what's the response if this happens? I'm like, dude, I don't know. like I've never seen this before. Like, Vic's like, I don't know. Nick's saying, I don't know. I'm like, I don't even know what happens. And all of a sudden they come on, and it's like Friedman. He's like, yeah, Nylander wouldn't have been allowed to play tonight if the refs didn't catch it. I'm like, oh my God. The Senators are going to play this thing under protest. And then next thing you know, Nylander scores the goal. I'm like, I'm sweating. I'm like, oh my God. Was the game sheet changed in time? I'm having like a mini freak out here, Rosie. But regardless, it ends up being okay.
It would have been one of those anomalies where like a golfer signs his scorecard wrong.
Exactly.
Everyone knows it's fucked, but it is what it is. There's nothing anyone can do. You can't bend the rules. You have to submit a thing that's one of those just rules. It would have been incredible, but people can rip on us for being high on them. We just won a huge game. I get it. I know what we were talking about after last game, and I get we're excited right now. They need to elevate. I mean, one thing that they need to clean up is getting the puck out on the PK, and when they're bagged and whatnot, these fluttering backhands that go right to the point. Oh, baby, those come back to bite you every goddamn time. It's happened 3 times this series that I can count where it ended up in the back of your net.
Yeah.
They got to clean that shit up. And just like some of those things along the wall, like you got possession, you're going to get it out, but the D-man's pinching and you try to bounce it around him, but he's taking the wall away and it goes in like shit like that. You got to clean that up against the Panthers because they will put it in the back of your net just about every time you have one of those. I know we're sucking them off a bit right now. We're jacked up. They won a series, and that's what the After Dark show's about.
Yeah,
we
dude.
can attest, have a little sleep, and in the morning we'll break it down what needs to happen, what we saw.
Yeah.
So tune in for Leafs Morning Take if you want some real takes. But right now,
Real
we're
takes.
kind of celebrating, so settle down. We're not going to come on this thing and fucking rip them after. You can't win. But, yeah, this team's far from perfect, but they're goddamn good. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm really glad they exercised some demons tonight.
Hey, you want to talk about exercising demons? When the Leafs signed Pacioretty, my dad texted me, and he's like, Pacioretty wearing 67, the former captain of the Habs wearing 67 for the Leafs. That's got to be a good omen. He just texted me again, and he goes, right now, he's watching the show. Shout out my dad. He's watching the show, and he goes, 67 scores the first goal of season series clinching goal in his first goal series of the series, and it's a series clinching goal in the first round. 67, 67, 67. It's destiny.
Your dad's on the wagon! Yes! Philly big Philly boy! I like it. I love it.
Rosie, what else stood out to you here tonight? I don't want to keep you forever. I appreciate you doing this here on the After Dark. I was like, win or lose, there's one guy that needs to be on the postgame show no matter what, and it's Jay Rosehill. That's why I gave you that big intro there coming in. But what else stood out to you here tonight about this win?
Good question. Scully looked sharp. I know that goal is fucking whatever. It was what it was. I think there's 50 years of demons behind that one. That was just testing the boys out. But he looked sharp again. Matthew Knies, the way he's like his compete level.
Holy fuck.
Like there's times where he chases a puck down that no one else gets to. That's a clear D-to-D and back up and whatever. Everyone does a neutral zone regroup, fuck around. Okay. He chased it down, wreaks havoc.
Yeah.
And then it goes over the other side. And there was another guy going into the corner and he was kind of gliding in. And I'm like, that's a big difference, boys. That's a big difference. And people need to adopt Matthew Knies' mentality. I know he's a fucking horse, and I know he's 230, and his neck's just like everything about him's a beast, and he can skate, and he's got it all. But everyone needs to adopt that. You look at Nathan McKinnon, he flies into a goddamn corner like that, and he wreaks havoc. He doesn't tiptoe around the perimeter and wait for one to squirt out to him. He makes shit happen. And if you're going to get through 7 games against the Florida Panthers, to a man, all those Maple Leafs need to adopt that mentality where they throw caution to the wind and they fucking fly into those corners and make things happen, turn it over, make those guys scramble, make them chuck it up the wall to the D-man and set up an O-zone. You have to adopt a mentality where you physically, literally can't leave anything out there after this next series, and they'll have a chance.
One of the things, too, I thought was great about Knies is, like, is he going to stand out all over the score sheet here tonight? No. But you know what? You look at that goal that was scored by Matthews, that power play goal. It's a two-parter. It's Matthew Knies, which is the second part of this, I feel like, is going to go unnoticed a little bit by people in Leafs Nation, especially because we're going to look at Matthews with the perfectly placed shot, which it was, but it's Knies' ass in Ullmark's eyes, which is something he told the media he was committed to doing. He knew what his role is, you know. He's out there on the 5-forward unit. He's surrounded by supreme talent. His job is put his ass in Ullmark's eyes. The second part, Rosie, which I'm not sure, I am sure actually because I know you're very smart hockey man, but was him picking up his foot as that shot came. Did you notice, you noticed that? The shot comes and he just lifts up his foot. If he left his foot on the ice, that thing's not in the net. He's probably blocking it, deflecting it wide. I don't know, but he picks up his foot at that last minute. The puck finds its way through. It's like this guy is so smart. He's always in the right spot. He's always doing the right things. Like I mean, he's a fucking horse, Rosie. Like, this is the kind of guy you need. Him, Scott Laughton's, Tanev's, Carlos, those are the guys you need to win Stanley Cups. But, I mean, we've had Zach Hyman, we've had Michael Bunting. This might be the guy who puts you over the top in the forward unit that you've been missing in the top 6. Maybe that's an insane take, but it's just fucking unbelievable what he does every single night.
Well, his hockey IQ is very high, and that's why he's playing with those guys, and he's been a staple. I remember when they were trying him out, and it was a little of this, a little of that. Does he have the experience? Does he have the skill? Does he have the hockey IQ? And every step of the way, he just kept garnering people's confidence, and he's never going to leave that line for a long time. As long as those two guys are there, he's made it. And I appreciate what you say about me, but that would have hit me in the toe, and I would have fallen over and hurt myself. But he knows all the little things that happen, man. Watch him along the wall. Watch him come up with pucks like pure possession when NHL high-caliber defensemen are getting a D-to-D, or one goes behind the net and he's got a pop and the D-man's in perfect position. He does a little body, a little shot, a little lift of the stick. He's super strong, lifts it up and curls into the opposite corner with full possession. He does it all the time. It's the little stuff that you're never going to see on the highlight reel. Yeah. But watch that man down low. He comes up with so much, and I mean, that is so valuable. It's the beginning of plays that matter, and they don't show up even when you're watching the goal and on 100%. A replay. They don't even show that part, but that's how that shit is manufactured, and he is unbelievable at it for his age. He's a beast, man, and he's got hockey IQ, like you said, through the roof. I can't say enough about him.
So last thing I want to ask you, we can look at Pacioretty scoring the goal, and I thought McMahon played better here tonight. My dad texted me. He's texting me right now all this stuff he thinks about the game. I don't know. Maybe me mentioning him here has gotten to his head now. He's pumped up. He wants more stuff read out. But I agree with him. McMahon was noticeable here tonight. And you look around, like, as he also pointed out to me, like, Simone Benoit is noticeable. I'm curious. It's the last thing I'll get you out of here on. What do you make of the job Craig Berube did here, just all around? You know, from public perception to answering questions. I sent you boys that interview he did here today when they're asking him about Game 6, and he's like, oh, it's business. And he looks like the least panicked ever. You know, there's years past where I feel like we would have seen Sheldon Keefe go up on stage. He would have had sweat beads coming down his forehead being like, no, we're not nervous. And it's just Berube goes in there and he's like, are you stupid for asking me that question? Business as usual. I don't give a fuck. We're going to win this game. Like, let's get out of here. But it's that persona. It's how he pushes things from how he feels to the rest of the team. And then on top of that, it's adjustments. You notice during this game, Bobby McMahon, that third line looked like shit, but McMahon looked like he had legs. Next thing you know, he's on the second line. Pacioretty's on the third line. Second line's getting some opportunities. Third line follows it up. Pacioretty scores on the third line from a pass from Max Domi. You know, there's adjustments like that. There's playing your 5-6 pair because OEL and Simone Benoit look good, so let's get him out there. What have you made of the job Craig Berube has done here through this first series to help them get this win?
Yeah, it's good. I think disaster could have taken place if it wasn't for Craig Berube being in that position. I don't even know if they would have won the Atlantic, to be honest, and been even in that series. They would have been in a very different one. But he's very chill, man. Like, when he got hired, everyone's like, oh, I don't know if this Babcock coming in and screaming and effing and this and all the rest of it is going to be the answer. And I was just thinking, dude, what I remember about Craig Berube coaching me is he was very chill, like not too high, not too low. He was intense. He got your respect easily just because of the man that he is. But when things are going so well, he doesn't get too high. When things are garbage, he doesn't get too low. You saw that on the bench with Savard. He's like, chill out, dude. It's one goal in the first fucking round. Like, he doesn't get too worked up. Yeah. And I think that I think that wears off on the guys a little bit. It rubs off on them. The way that they play, and Tree Living too, man, he's put those bodies in place. He's got the Benoits and he's got the Carlos and the Laughtons and the Oya. He's gotten all these people in place. that's a lot of hats off to him too. So a combination of the two has got this team looking different. But make no mistake, like, these guys need to prove still that they can be big game players. Like, again, it's great that Austin did what he did and Willie did what he did. And, like, Willie can do that all day. I think he was the star of the game. I said this morning, someone has to get 2 and 1 and pop off. And I don't really care who it is, if it's Mitch or Austin or Willie, but someone's got to have, like, a 2-in-1 game and basically win the goddamn thing. It was Willie, but Austin has to do it one game.
Yeah.
Mitch has to do it one game. They both have to do, 2 of them got to do it one game and be the difference maker. Like, that's what it's going to take to get by the Florida Panthers. So they can't rest on their laurels. They can't say, oh my God, we're back on track or anything like that. They need to dig their heels in and elevate. Yeah, you can celebrate tonight and it's going to be a day off, all the rest of the bullshit. But the job is not done. Those guys need to be better. Hate to say it, but you coughed a few up to a team that's a lot worse than the Florida Panthers. You got to tighten that shit up, and I think that's what they'll be focusing on in the upcoming days. All
right, Rosie, let's get you out of here on this. The chat was horny for this when you got on the show. I need one hello Pontus from you.
Does he deserve it tonight?
I don't know, but the chat was begging for it.
Well, because we just won a
the
series.
Third goal. Vic says the third goal. What he did on the third goal, he deserves it. That's what Vic says.
I forgot about that. Well, thank you for your service, Pontus. It's good to see you again. See you in the second round. Goodbye, Pontus.
Rosie, thank you so much for doing this here tonight. He just bailed. That was it. He just said, "Yeah, thanks for having me. I'll give you a Pontus and I'm out." That's it. That's all I've got. Let's get the man in here, Vic. Before we get to Vic, just quickly, I want to thank our friends here at Greta Bar YYZ. We are at Greta Bar here tonight. We greatly appreciate them for having us. Weekly drink specials. I mean, great spot before, during, and after the game. We've been here basically most of the series through round 1 of the 2025 playoffs. Great spot before, during, and after. You can check out the great street food menu and games in the arcade. I saw Nick after the first period. I think he was a little stressed out. He headed back there. That's where my favorite spot is. It's the basketball, Vic. That's where Nick went. I'm like, dude, this guy is just strictly blowing off steam. But it makes sense. Weekly drink specials. Greta Bar is the place to be. 590 King Street West, Greta Bar. Let the games begin. Let's bring them in here. Let's see how producer Vic is feeling about this one here tonight. Vic, I don't think we're going to go crazy long on this post game. Especially, we got a lot of stuff to do in the upcoming days, you and I both. But let's get right away into this one.
Yeah, how I'm framed right now.
How are you
Hopefully
feeling?
We look good.
How are you feeling after this win here tonight?
Man, what a night. What a night. My favorite part of tonight was when we called Max Pacioretty a Habs sleeper agent for how he played the first 2.5 periods. And sure enough, number 67 comes through.
I know.
I can't believe it. I was distraught. That second Ottawa goal, I was calling Amelia Samsonov, I swear.
I know, dude.
I was not happy with that. We can't have goaltending like that, but the boys pulled through.
I know, they did pull through here tonight. And
no,
again,
Vic is not drunk. I've had one drink.
Not tonight. Not tonight.
I can't do that again. That was embarrassing. I'm sorry for that.
Let's get to some of these super chats. I want you here with me to rifle through some of these. There was a bunch that piled up. We also got 50 likes on the show, so I'll grab them in a second, but that means we got to do the smelling salts. We're almost at 100 here again, so if you're watching and you haven't already, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, in my backpack there, if you haven't subscribed yet to Leaf Station 401 right here on YouTube, make sure to do so. We are pushing to 20,000 subscribers here on the channel, and hopefully as the Leafs go on a long run, we can get those subscribers up. Let's start with this. Maxentius Decimus, and again, proceeds from our super chat do go to Sick Kids Charity. Proceeds go to Sick Kids Charity, an amazing charity partner this season. Children's Hospital, #1 in Canada, I believe, #3 in North America. If those numbers aren't good enough, I don't know what to tell you. Make sure to get your super chats in here. Proceeds going to Sick Kids. Maxentius Decimus says, finally, the Sens can suck on KPG's nuts.
I'm great with that. I love that. That was probably the funniest part of this. Entire first round to suck my sack. when we were telling him what to say and he just didn't say it?
Yeah, I didn't say it.
He just didn't say it.
Maxentius Decimus also at the super chat. Sens fans crying about the refs online right now. No doubt. I mean, those people realize they got to get back in their cars. They got to wait 45 minutes in the traffic to leave the building. And then they got to drive 45 minutes home from that arena or from that tiny ass little screen outside. I don't know if people have seen The Office, Vic, but there's that scene where Michael Scott has all the people over to his house, and he's like, this is my plasma TV.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what the Sens did, and they were all pumped up about it.
Oh, my
And
God.
they're
That was the
posting.
worst setup I've ever seen.
They're like, here's our screen. It's like, we're at Greta, and we've got a bigger screen that we're watching. And, I mean, unbelievable setup, but, like, we're inside a bar, not at a watch party outside the Canadian Tire Center trying to keep our season on the line. I mean, you want to talk about pathetic efforts. That's one of them. That's one for the ages.
Yeah, are they crying about that last Tanev play, where Dylan Cousins can't hang on to his stick in a puck battle and he's whining?
Also, like, I'm just going to get this out of the way. He tripped, Tanev tripped. It was a soft
that's
trip.
fine.
But it's like, it's the end of the game. He trips Tanev. The ref probably saw him go down and was like, I'm not calling that. Sees the next play ensue where Tanev goes onto his stick for the stick battle. Sure, regular season, maybe it's a slash. 2 minutes left or whatever it was in the third period in a one-goal game in playoffs. It's never a call. Never.
He didn't break the stick.
The stick got knocked out of his
It
hands.
just got knocked out of his hands. Hang on to your stick.
Yeah.
That's all.
Michael with the super chat. As I said, bet against the Leafs for years. So, by the way, context. This guy, Michael, he's been watching me since I started.
Okay.
And he's been sending super chats being like, this team stinks.
Where does he live?
I don't know. Hong Kong, it must be. That's HK dollars.
Yeah.
And he keeps sending it being like, this team stinks. They're not going to win. And he's like, I bet money against the Leafs. And every year I'm like, fuck you, Michael, they're going to win. And then they lose, and he comes back, and he's like, what'd I tell you? Yeah. Before the series this year, my last game of the season, he goes, every year I bet money against the Leafs. I'm not doing it this year.
Wow.
There he is. And he goes, as I said, bet against the Leafs for years and won a lot, but not this year. Instead, I bet Hurricanes win because of Sheldon Keefe is their opposing coach. I should have read the last part, but fair enough. Fair enough.
Wow. Keefe taking strays.
Strays.
Oh, my God.
KPG, Game 7 would have equaled Depends adult diapers. KPG,
Look.
that is not even putting it into, like, that's not even close. Like, I would have not only had, Depends, I probably would have been doubled, and I would have, not eaten because I would have been so scared.
Dude, I have said it on the show before. I have a wedding on Saturday. Thank God they closed this out. Oh, my God. I can't imagine. So I texted my cousin who's getting married on Saturday.
Yeah.
Shout out, Raz.
You're like, dude, I'm scared.
No, I texted him. I'm like, no Game 7 at your wedding. And he's like, but maybe Game 1. And I was like, oh, that's okay. He's like, don't worry. I got the AV guy on it. We'll have the game on at my wedding.
There you go.
That's Leafs Nation.
And as Joe Slater says here, go Leafs go from North Carolina. And Leafs Nation is everywhere.
That's right.
Would have been North Carolina. I know we got people in Hong Kong. We got Gordon Graham in Japan. We got Joe Hill, who's out there in West Virginia. These people are everywhere. You would have been out there at the wedding everywhere.
We got guys in the chat from Australia all the time, too. It's crazy
all
how
the
deep
boys.
Leafs Nation goes.
Maxentius Decimus, hello, Pontus. Fuck the Sens, Rosie. Tammy, thank you for the super chat. Tammy says, Leafs going in flaccid for round 2.
Okay.
Tammy, I don't even know.
I actually messaged her back in the chat there. Like, give us one night. We'll cry about Florida tomorrow.
Yeah, let's celebrate this.
Let me celebrate one tonight. We got the series win. Let me enjoy it. We'll think about Florida tomorrow.
Vic, you were with me in Game 5.
Yep.
It's one of the most, the funniest moments of my post-game streams of all time.
Okay.
Benadil sent the super chat, and he said, after this game, I love the show, I love the streams. I'm done watching hockey.
Out.
Super chat from Benadil. I lied about not watching anymore. They push you away and they suck you right back in.
You're right back in.
They just have that ability.
How many times have you said that?
Never. I always say I'm going to watch. I just
Really?
love hockey too much.
I know. I always say I'm not watching, and then you better believe I watch the post game, then the pre-game, and then I watch the game.
And then you're back.
And I'm back, yeah.
Iskatsi says, getting past the first round finally lets the team now focus on just hockey, and their matchup against Florida shouldn't be assessed in the same way as this round.
I have one worry about Florida, but I don't really want to talk about Florida right now, as I told Tammy.
Yeah. I don't want to worry about it either.
Yeah, but their third line is absolutely insane.
I said it to Rosie a few times.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go back to it.
Yeah.
KPG says, LOL, sends suck my sack. Thank you, KPG. Vic, we hit 100 likes, so that means we got to do 2 of them. We're almost at 150. If you haven't liked yet, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe here to Leaf Station 401. We got smelling salts to do. Let's do it here. I'll start with them.
All right, and I'll keep going here. KPG sends in another super chat. Making my dreams come true. Vic, stash looks like a Timu John Hall. Oh, Hall & Oates, baby. A little bit of me misses that. I don't know what it is. Yeah, keep going. We gotta get fresh ones here.
Yeah, we do. I ordered them. They came today.
That one was a good one, though.
So every day, if you're not following me on Instagram, at Zack Phillips _, I post on my story every game day. I post a game day story. And for the first 5 games, it was Rosie when he was playing in the English Hockey League. And it was him with the smile, missing jibs, all of it. And it just said game day, and I had Kerncroft 400. 3-0 to start. I'm like, keep it going. Then, next thing you know, lose. I'm like, fuck it. It's an anomaly. Run it back. Did it again, game 5. Lost. I woke up today. I'm like, what do I do? So I go, Rosie, Leafs practice jersey pick. Game day, Hutton Leafs jersey, which is photoshopped, by the way. It's not even real. And Hall & Oates music playing over top. And it seemed to get the job done. So that's a positive sign.
I'm 2-0 in this sweater, so I had to wear the hoodie again.
I changed my whole outfit.
Yeah,
New hat.
I noticed.
New shirt. I went back to Leaf Station shirt, but new shirt.
Yeah.
I went jacket today, which I've not worn the jacket. T-shirt only. Same pants, new underwear, socks, and new shoes. Full different fit.
I don't know if the story's for air, but I texted Huts, and I was like, are you telling me the color of my undies doesn't matter today? And he said, just make sure to keep your down below clean. In different words, but yeah.
Yeah. Got it. We got another super chat here. Big Willie Styles. Big Willie, thank you for the super chat. Let's go Leafs. Hey, my favorite producers. There you go. Thanks, Big Willie. Appreciate that. And again, if you're not watching our other shows, Vic produces Leafs Morning Take right here on this channel, but also on the Daily Faceoff channel. Vic's producing Morning Cup of Hockey Monday to Friday now, 9 a.m. Eastern time, breaking everything down. Yeah.
I'm so excited to go to work tomorrow
And then I'm
morning.
producing Jeff Merrick's show, 3 p.m. Eastern time on the Daily Faceoff channel as well. Thanks, Willie, for the super chat. Mike Fami, Simone Benoit was a beaut tonight. Again, I want to pause on that quickly.
Yeah.
Stealing Merrick's stuff there. Let's pause on that one. Merrick's going to be watching and he's going to text me. He's like, you asshole. I do want to pause on the Simone Benoit comment.
Pause on something else there, buddy.
I want to pause on the Simone Benoit comment because Simone Benoit, was he the best player on the ice tonight? No. Was he the best defenseman on the ice? No. But the thing for me that I kept watching was breaking up plays, getting in the lanes, reading plays right, activating in the offense, being physical but not chasing the play. This guy, Vic, he's a playoff performer. And it's like maybe he's not as good as I'm making him out to be in my mind, but my frame of reference is Justin Hall playing top 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm watching Simone Benoit, who I think personally is more effective and more responsible and more trustworthy than Justin Hall. And he's playing on my third pair.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest difference with this Leafs team to Leafs teams in the past, is that it doesn't matter which pair is out there, you're not shaking in your boots. And who knows, when the Florida Panthers roll into town and with their forecheck, maybe that's a different story.
Yeah.
But in this series, I
Not
was never
scared.
worried, not scared. OEL and Benny, put him out there whenever you want. OEL was rushing the puck. Benoit was rushing the puck again tonight. He seems so much more confident with it on his stick. I'm not even like, every time he does it, I'm not thinking like something's going to happen or anything.
Yeah, I don't
It's
have
just
that
like,
panic.
It's just like he takes it out of our end and he brings it into theirs, and that's all you got to ask from your 5'6" guy.
Yeah. Look.
And he was out there in the last minute with the game on the line.
Yes.
Morgan Riley,
Trust him.
our franchise defenseman,
Not.
sitting on the bench, glued to the
Yeah.
bench. It was Benoit and Carlo,
Yeah.
Tanev and McCabe. Morgan Riley sitting on the bench.
As social media intern Ryan called him, Eggs Benny.
Benny. Yeah, but like, think about that. Like before last year, Morgan Riley's on the ice in that situation.
Oh, yeah.
Because and it's not because we trust Morgan Riley.
It's 'cause you don't have anyone else.
Nobody else.
Yeah.
It's Timothy Liljegren, Justin Hall.
Yeah.
God, again, we've named them all. Like they're just not on this level. Simon just keeps stepping up.
And, you know, I mean, it's also like, okay, you got your first pairing, you trust them to shut it down. In years past, this is. Then they go off the ice, and you're like, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God. We get to the third pairing, and I don't even notice.
Yeah.
Like, there are times it's like icing, D-zone draw, and Benoit and OEL out there. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Like, that's fine with me. I don't care.
You know what I love? Like, I'm not like a hockey nerd where I understand systems. I don't know what Craig Berube's system is. I watch them every single night. I don't know where people are supposed to stand when I'm just watching the game, right?
Right.
Every single D-man on the team plays the exact same way. That I can notice. I don't know what they're supposed to do, where they're supposed to be. I think their responsibility in these games is box out, keep the lanes open, let Stolar see it, and he'll make the save.
Yeah.
Take the sticks
Yeah.
and clear the rebounds.
That's a good point.
That's it. And every single one of them does the exact same thing.
One of the things that they seem to do a lot, which I appreciate, is, and I feel like people who have come here in the past or been a part of this team, they have tried to play outside of their game.
Yep.
It feels like maybe it's the Berube effect, maybe it's just the guys they brought in, maybe it's tree living, I don't know. But these guys seem to come in here and they're like, I'm Braden Carlo, I'm going to play Braden Carlo hockey. I'm Chris Tanev, I'm going to play Chris Tanev hockey. Not I'm Chris Tanev and I'm going to try to do this.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting there going, what? Why are you making a rush on this play? Why are you skating it out of the zone? It's like, no. My game is get the puck, make a pass, get it out. My game is block shots. My game is physicality. And they play that game and it's like, you don't feel uncomfortable because you don't feel like they're going above and beyond to do something else that they shouldn't be, which gets them out of position, which gets them caught. Like, it's a much more comfortable game from those guys.
Yep. And Zach, I was just thinking back while you were talking. I can't think of a single odd man rush in this series, pretty much, other than the shorthanded ones that they've scored on us.
Yeah.
I can't think of a 2-on-1. Did Stoli have to make a breakaway save? Maybe, though. I think he had one
Brady
in
Tkachuk,
game
game
one. That's off a horrible turnover by Morgan Riley at the blue line. I don't remember anything else. No one's pinching. Everyone's taking care of their defensive responsibilities first and foremost.
I'm legit thinking about it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think,
I can't
like,
think of a 2-on-1.
it's like they probably happen,
Shorthanded,
but it's
yeah.
not like enough to be
Yeah.
prominent.
Shorthanded, it happened twice. They scored on both of them.
Yeah.
And that sucks. But, like, I can't think of a single 5-on-5 breakaway 2-on-1 other than that Morgan Riley flub in early game one.
Yeah, I know. AK says here, Zack gets carded at Greta every time. No. And you know what? This beard, this disgusting beard that I've got going on, that my girlfriend is going to
You gotta
hate
do
now
something
because
about that, man.
No, I got to let it go now. And I can't get my hair cut either, and it's disgustingly long. But you know what? It seems like everyone who's bought in here tonight. My mom even texted me. She said, not only did you change your system, I changed my system. She wore a different outfit here tonight. She wore a Leafs onesie to watch the game. rather than whatever the hell she was wearing before.
Yeah.
So everybody was bought
I
in
love it.
tonight
I
on
love
this
it.
win. We got a couple more super chats here. Before we get to those, we had 150 likes on the stream, Vic. If you want to do the honors and start us off on the smelling salts, if you want to get to those.
Oh my God.
I'm reading these super chats. This is why the Leafs Nation After Dark chat is so good. Like, we could do serious post games and wear suits and like be for real.
Yeah.
But then we get chats and then it's like, Maxentius Decimus, I just bought Vic's stash off of Temu for $2.99.
Proceeds go to Vic. Damn. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Get in
there you go.
There you go.
Mike Fami, super chat.
God.
Vic is actually Michael Pena.
I think I'm the new Nick, man.
I think they're just putting you on blast.
Am
and
I
also
the new Nick Alberga?
they're like, look at this guy, this grubby bastard.
Yeah. I feel like I'm the new Alberga. He used to be the one getting chirped all day. Now it's me.
Yeah,
Whatever.
whatever.
Cute.
I hope this series doesn't start on Saturday. I'll tell you
Oh
that.
my God. That's not even fair.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Start it
give
on
me
Sunday.
Hold on. If it starts Saturday, do the boys practice tomorrow? Like,
That's what I'm thinking. Like, you're traveling tonight back from Ottawa. Like, actual serious moment. You're traveling back from Ottawa tonight.
yeah.
You'd like to have day off tomorrow from the series win. Why would you start the series 2 days later for a team? Like, I know what Nick's tweeting out, and you have home ice, so you'd start at home on Saturday night, which would be a big night, but, like, why?
I don't know.
Like, that, like, dude, you're watching.
Is it because the Eastern Conference is set already? Like, they'll just keep going, go to round 2? I mean, like, the Cup final Game 7 last year was, like, June 23rd, and the draft was, like, the next day.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to tighten that up. I don't know, but
I'm trying to think it through. Like, you've got these Western Conference games. Vegas won tonight.
Yeah.
They defeat Mini. That's done. You had, what else is done in the West? Nothing yet, right?
Well, Colorado was up 2-0, and now I'm looking over your shoulder here. LA Edmonton's 2-2.
Winnipeg, St. Louis, Game 6.
It's tomorrow.
Is tomorrow.
Yeah.
So they could have Game 7 potentially on Sunday, and you're going to start Game 1 of Round 2 on Saturday?
Yeah. I don't know if they're going to wait for the West to finish up, though.
No, I know, but I'm thinking you've also got Game 6 going on in Edmonton, LA.
Yeah.
You've got Game 6 going on Colorado, Dallas.
Yep.
And you're going to jump ahead. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, also, I got a tea time.
Yeah.
I got a tea time on Saturday.
What
so
time?
1:45.
Oh, you'll be fine.
4-hour round, though. You're done at 6. Then I got to get back downtown.
Tight squeeze.
Tight squeeze.
All right, here's our plea. Taylor Swift, do your concert at Air Canada, or what's it called now? Scotiabank Arena. It'll always be ACC to me.
Yeah.
It just rolls off the tongue so much
It
better.
does. The ACC. You know, in Aurora, where I grew up, we had an ACC. Aurora Community Center.
Yeah, and I had.
ACC, baby.
I grew up at the Armenian Community Center. We used to call it the ACC as well. I wish I was joking. I'm not.
John, super chat, didn't send anything, but thank you, John, for the super chat. Again, proceeds do go to Sick Kids Charity. Tammy says, for the record, I am enjoying the win. Cheers, Leafs Nation.
Cheers,
Tammy,
Tammy.
thank you. We're enjoying this one as well. Maxentius Decimus, Brady. Brady looks like the head orc from Lord of the Rings 3. Suck it. Look,
Man.
So on Jeff's show on the sheet,
Yeah.
when they were in Ottawa, he had Cyril Leader on, who is the president of the Ottawa Senators. And it never really got a story made of it, but he disclosed to Jeff on the show Brady is dealing with something.
Yeah.
Um,
I've heard rumors.
I had told to me he was dealing with something as well, separately, from a pretty reliable source. And he scores a couple of big goals in this series, and I understand he was hindered a little bit. And I'm not doing this on a slander parade of Senators players and Brady Tkachuk in particular, but the one thing that was constantly brought up, and who knows what the extent of the injury is, but the one thing that was constantly brought up, and I would listen to Mike Rupp on the Leafs Morning Take show, was they have Brady Tkachuk. Who counters Brady Tkachuk? My thing in the moment, and I'm just some pigeon. I'm not Mike Rupp who played in the NHL.
Yep.
So what do I know? But my counter was like, they don't need mano-a-mano Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah.
They don't need Tom Wilson to go head-to-head with Brady Tkachuk. They have the ability now, for the first time maybe ever, to do it by committee.
Yep.
Matthew Knies, you think that guy's not going to stand up to Brady Tkachuk? OEL, like, dude, your 5-6 pair will go mano-a-mano with Brady Tkachuk. You know, you look down the lineup, Pacioretty, even though he may not have had the legs under him until he fucking scored the OT, or scored the game winner tonight, but he may not have had the legs. He's a willing combatant. You know, you go down the lineup. I don't think this Leafs team came in scared of Brady Tkachuk. I don't think as the series went on, they were scared of Brady Tkachuk. They seemed to handle themselves well when it came to that physicality, the pressure, and the Brady Tkachuk factor we all had to be worried about.
Well, that's a good thing because I think that gets them ready for the second round as well, where you're facing Matthew Tkachuk.
Who I think is a bigger difference maker, by the way.
And also, I think he's hurt as well. He only played 10
too.
minutes in Game 5.
Yeah.
I think he's a little banged up himself, which could benefit the Leafs. But you brought up Mike Rupp. Do you know what I saw Mike Rupp say today? And again, I love
What did the Rupp stars say?
the hindsight. He said William Nylander doesn't have killer instinct.
2 Beninos tonight.
Well, guess
Hello.
what? And an apple.
Yep.
2
3
and 1
bitters. Thanks for coming.
on his 29th birthday.
Yeah.
Did we?
And he almost didn't play.
Did we just see William Nylander mature before our very eyes?
Maybe he did some dumb shit tonight, but
Oh, buddy. Oh, he did some dumber shit in Game 5.
yeah.
Oh, my God. He couldn't have been worse.
So, by the way, Kings Oilers tied 2-2 in the first period. Avalanche up 2-0 on the Stars right now. My mom said she might be hitting on you. She said, "Don't call Vic grubby. He's cute." I said, "Mom, we were at his wedding a couple months ago. Relax." We got more super chats here, but before I get to that, You're the hot take guy for the morning show. You're the Ninja Crispy hot take guy. Aiden Simpson sent a hot take. I want to get your thoughts on this.
On Aiden's hot take?
On
Okay.
Aiden's hot take, and maybe you can bring it to the morning show, depending on what you think.
All right, let's do it.
He said, hot take, Nick Robertson is back for game 1 and scores a hat trick.
Okay. Where do I even start with that? Okay, number one, there is 0% chance Nick Robertson gets back in the lineup for game 1.
Yeah, no.
None. And number 2, he scratch and scores 1. He doesn't get 3.
Yeah, I know. No. Sometimes he does 2, but never 3.
Never 3.
Never 3.
Okay, no
Dallas
chance.
tied it, by the way. Or Dallas 2-1. Sorry.
No. Who do you take it out of lineup? Look, that third line was awful. Awful. But they scored. You're not taking anyone out of the lineup. You will see no lineup changes for game 1 against the Florida Panthers. None.
So
0.
part of the thing as well with that is that I feel like even more so why you don't do that, Pacioretty scores the game-winning goal.
Yep.
That's a hard sell to take him out. Pontus, relatively unnoticeable, not a net negative.
No.
I think Berube trusts him.
Yep.
The other part of it, he made a change that was much bigger than I think people might give it credit for. McMahon back to 2.
Yep.
Patches
Absolutely.
to 3. Did it fix the third line? No. Far from it.
Oh, my God.
But better.
Yes.
Better.
Yep.
Bobby goes back to the second line. He looked good. He looked like he had legs.
Bobby was buzzing with the third line, though. He got promoted.
There's a guy in this Dallas game, Bischel, and he is
He's a monster. What is he, like 6'9"?
he's down for the count.
Oh, no. How do you get that high? How do you knock this guy down?
I don't know, but he is in pain.
Oh, my God.
Sorry. I'm trying to follow all the storylines going on. I look at you and I see this guy just crumpled. I'm like, oh God.
Bobby earned that promotion.
Yes, he did.
That's what I was saying.
He had legs going, and that's part of why I thought that there was a I thought that was a good move by Berube, recognizing what you had in Bobby McMahon and the legs he had going and saying this third line fucking sucks. Like, this third line is atrocious. But you know what you have? You have a guy whose legs are moving.
Yep.
Let's move him up. Pacioretty, his legs weren't moving. Change this. Berube, good recognition. Sheldon Keefe would have come out for that third period. William Nylander would have been playing with fucking Calle Yarncroke. We would have been sitting here going, who's playing with who? How did that happen? Why is Morgan Riley on the left wing? But it's like Craig Berube is like one change. McMahon, second line, Pacioretty third. One simple change fixed everything here tonight.
Man, I'm telling you, Bobby could be an X factor for this team.
Yeah, he could, and he should be.
20 goal scorer, man. Like, I've expected a lot more from him. He has not shown me anything, but tonight he played his ass off. He was awesome. Can I, just as we move along here, can I just, we absolutely shit on the captain of this team after Game 5.
Deservingly.
Yep. How do you feel about him now?
I still feel like there's stuff to be desired. I don't want to be negative Nancy.
No.
Do I think that this was his best game? No. And I thought that there was plenty of opportunities he had tonight where he could have made something more out of it, especially given who he is and his takeover ability, and it just wasn't quite there. But he scores that goal, and we'll see how it builds into Game 1 against the Panthers. We'll see how it builds into that next series. But that's some demons, man. He scored 2 goals. I think it's in his last 15 games, like, total.
Yeah.
Not just, like, closeout games. Whoa.
Yeah.
No. Total. And to
2
score...
more than Kucherov.
It's 2 more than Kucherov. Kucherov also has 2 cup rings.
Yeah.
But
no phony bubble fucking bullshit.
He's a LeBron. But, you know, he scores those, and I was wondering, I'm like, how is this going to change his mindset, his approach? You know what? I thought he started to look much better from that goal on through the rest of the game.
Little exhale, right?
A little bit of a breather, a little bit of some comfortability, and he looked more dangerous. He looked like he had some more attack, some more go, some more juice in his legs. I felt a bit better about him. Not great, but better. And that was a positive sign.
Now I have another question for you.
Yeah.
Can you think of another scoring chance that line had? Because that was on the power play. I don't think I saw that line 5-on-5.
They had some like decent offensive zone possession shifts, but not really like dangerous.
I don't remember a scoring chance.
Not really dangerous chances. I would agree with you there.
Yeah, so they got to be better, and they have a way tougher matchup coming up.
Like,
here.
actually, you're short by about a million ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the difference between Shane Pinto and Alexander Barkov is the difference between Austin Matthews and Tyler Bozak.
Matthews actually finishes second on the Leafs here tonight in expected goals. Scott Laughton third on the Leafs. Matthews finishes third in the game. William Nylander 1. Michael Amadio 2.
I don't even think I noticed that guy on the ice.
He's 2. And then Austin Matthews third behind him.
I don't remember seeing Amadio.
Your number 1 expected goal share player at 5-on-5,
He was good.
Brandon Carlo, who I thought was good tonight.
He was good, though.
Stutzle was good tonight.
Stutzle was good tonight. And honestly, should we give him some kudos? The Sens played a good series, man. Do you want to give him any love? Or
fuck the Sens?
Or fuck the Sens?
Fuck the Sens.
Fuck
But
the Sens.
this is where I have a hard time. The Sens played good enough.
Yeah.
This should have been 4-0 Leafs if they could score goals.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to Ottawa. Kudos to you for getting those 2 wins, I guess. But if the Leafs could score, especially at 5-on-5, which, like, I don't want to hear Sens fans being like, oh, yeah, that's because we shut them down at 5-on-5. Like, no. This is like a 9-year issue, not you issue. 9-year issue of the Leafs not being able to score at 5-on-5. If they could, this thing would have been done in 5. I'm sorry. I thought that they played good enough.
Done in 4. The Leafs laid a goddamn egg in Game 5.
Yeah. So I don't know. Kudos to them, I guess. But anyways, you know who I haven't seen? Francis.
Oh yeah, where's Francis? Where's what Doc something or other?
Jay Castro.
Yeah, where's Doc?
Doc Riley.
Doc Riley. Where are these guys?
Wankers.
Where are they?
They're out watching that
pigeons?
little screen.
The pigeons flew
They
away.
still don't know what time it is because that screen was so tiny. Is the game over? I can't tell. They should have put a bigger screen out here. Holy fuck. KPG Super Chat. Zack and Vic, please buy Lisa Grinton a drink for me. I'll catch you next week in round 2.
Is Lisa Grinton here?
I don't know. Is Lisa here? If Lisa's here, I hope she
Lisa, if
finds
you're here,
us.
come stop by.
Thanks, KPG, for the super chat. If she's here, we'll get her a drink for sure. Roger Matthews with the super chat. No comments attached, but thank you, Roger. Appreciate it. KPG, Pacioretty's new nickname, not Scratch and Score. Thanks to family and God. I'm not a religious guy, but fair enough. Oh, shit. Tie game.
Oh, my God.
Dallas, Colorado. Tie game. Pacioretty's new nickname, not Scratch and Score. Sure.
Okay.
Roger Matthews, give the Sens some. They made this a good series.
Oh, there you go. I just tried.
Fuck the Sens. Vic, we've been at it for an hour 7 here tonight. We are almost at 200 likes on the post-game show. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe here to the channel, Leafs Nation 401, right here on YouTube. Leafs Morning Take, Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Nick Alberga, Jay Rosehill, Carter Hutton sometimes as well. Producer Vic behind the scenes every single day. Leafs Nation After Dark, breaking down the games right here on this channel after every single game. Make sure to like. At 200 likes, we'll get some more smelling salts. Keep subscribing here as well. I want to do one slightly negative thing.
Okay. And then I have one question for you.
And then we'll wrap up with
And then
segments.
we'll go. And I'll include the chat in my question.
Okay. So, did you sneeze or cough?
I was coughing.
Okay. I was going to say bless you, but
No. I was coughing.
one slight negative.
All right.
He got an assist.
Don't. You're going to bury the man?
We started stepping up in a lot of aspects of this game. Matthews, goal, great. Knies looked great. Tavares looked good again. Nylander, 2 goals. Pacioretty scores on the 3rd line. 4th line looked great. Defense looked really good, other than Morgan Riley, who I thought could use some work as well. Stolars, I'd like to eliminate the Samsonov goal off the back of the head, but regardless, Mitch Marner, still a lot to be desired. You know, I gave him a lot of credit for what he did during the first couple of games. Colorado made it 3-2. Jesus Christ. See, that's what I'm looking at.
We
These
gotta
guys, like,
switch seats.
they just score. I know, I get distracted. I just love hockey. Mitch Marner still needs to be a lot better.
3-2. Edmonton's up 3-2 now, too.
Fuck, eh? Oh, my God, I guess. Mitch Marner still needs to be better.
Yep.
I don't think he was necessarily a net negative, but he left a lot to be desired, and let me not try to make it the most negative thing of all time. The people around him stepped up. They played good games. They played solid here tonight in this elimination. He did what he's done in years past. Front load the points, tail off at the end. Let's see if he can get this thing going as it goes along. If the rest of his line mates, if the rest of the top 6, if the rest of the bottom 6, who all of a sudden seems to have life, gets going. Can Mitch Marner continue to elevate? Because you know what? I'm really happy about this team and this win tonight, I should say specifically. Mitch Marner still left a lot to be desired. There's going to be people in the chat who are like, this guy just hates Marner. I don't just hate Marner. I don't. I despise the contract and the way it went down, and I think that the number attached always gives me a little bit of like, pause when it comes to it. I thought that he left a lot to be desired again tonight.
It's the same thing with Austin with Mitch. It's where you're you're going to be one of the highest players in the league because of your offensive game. So we need to see more offense. But I want to turn your negative into a bit of a positive. I thought that Morgan Riley fucking penalty. I'm trying not to swear as much.
No, it's fine.
I'm trying not to swear as much.
That's one of the dumber things you could have done.
That penalty, but I thought Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews had one of the most elite penalty kills
That's fair.
in a big, huge crunch time moment that you could have. And then sure enough, right at the end of it, David Perron banks one off his Stoley's head. But I thought
That was
those
a bad
two,
turnover by Knies, by the way.
Yeah.
You should have got that puck out.
Yep.
You know, you want to
And we
criticize
praised
guys,
him,
I'll
yeah.
do that. It was Knies. The weak backhand, he should have got it out.
Yep. And I thought those two, in a huge, huge, huge moment, had an incredible penalty kill.
Yeah.
And obviously all for naught, but look, everything, they say when the playoffs start, everything starts fresh. Now you're going into game 1 of a new series.
Yeah.
Everything starts fresh. Prove it. That's it.
Yeah.
Just prove it again.
You get to start
Prove it
again.
Start again.
You get to start
over.
again.
Yeah. Everyone resets to 0 again for me.
You know what I'm pumped up about tonight?
Yep. What's that?
Going through the 250 bookmarks I have and just retweeting and quote tweeting all of those wanker Sens fans tonight. I held on for so
my
long.
God. Yeah, I made you hang on to a couple of times.
Mark tweets. I already tweeted the Lalim tweet. Like I fired out right as soon as the game was done. Just the Lalim just buried. Yeah, like I'm just gonna bury those Sens fans tonight. Humble B in the chat. Go Sens, go! Are you kidding me? Go golfing, Sens.
What a
Fuck.
humble. He's so humble.
Yeah, so humble.
So humble.
Couple more super chats. I'll rip through these quickly with you. 8 likes away from 200, and we'll wrap up. You had another. Actually, go. You had a question. Go
All
ahead.
right. Here's my question for you and for the chat. I want your answers in the chat as well.
Yeah.
Who is your series MVP? I'll give you mine. I'll give you time to think about it. And it's Chris Tanev. I think Chris Tanev was something the Toronto Maple Leafs have been missing for 9 years. I think Chris Tanev is an absolute difference maker on the other end of the ice. We always think about, look, the Toronto Maple Leafs have never had the issue of having poor defense or allowing goals. The problem has always been offense. But having Chris Tanev in there today and slotting everybody else down, the amount of poise, every puck battle, I don't think that guy has lost a puck battle in 6 games. Incredible work. He makes Jake McCabe better.
Yeah.
He makes Morgan Riley and Brandon Carlo better because they don't have to play as many toughs. He makes Simon Benoit and Oliver Ekman-Larsson better because he slots everybody down a peg. The guy is my MVP, unsung fucking hero. I don't know how many points he had. I don't care. I don't know what his plus minus was. I don't care.
Yeah.
The guy is a goddamn warrior, heart on his sleeve. Absolutely love Chris Tanev. Super happy we finally got him in the blue and white.
So, I actually think that that's a great pick. 3-3. Oh my God. I think that's the chat right now is overwhelmingly Stolars.
Please don't.
I lean towards 2 people.
Okay.
I understand if people don't like them, and I get that. I understand why. Matthew Knies, John Tavares.
Okay.
The reasons being, they were noticeable or very good every night.
Yep.
And
I can agree with that.
they didn't maybe take over in every game. They didn't dominate in every game, but they were very good. And when you talk about supporting cast, like I get what Tavares is being paid, but let's be realistic about who he is. He's not the guy anymore. He's a secondary piece. It's Matthews, Marner, Nylander. Even when they weren't going, Tavares was really good.
Yeah.
Knies would drag them into the fight. And I kept looking at those 2 guys on the 2 different lines in the top 6 and saying, you know what? Man, they're going.
Yeah.
They're going. I'm going to give you an unsung hero as well.
All right.
2 of them, actually. I'll give you 2.
Oh, wow. Zach likes everybody.
Well, it's for
That's
different
for a
reasons.
most valuable player, not like.
I know. 2 of them.
Yeah, go
One
for it.
unsung hero, Simone Benoit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what?
6
He
games.
could get some MVP consideration,
I know.
too.
I thought about him for
OT
MVP,
winner, too,
but
like-
OT winner, big point.
Yeah.
But he was fucking unreal in this series. You know, not the best defenseman on the ice. That's Chris Tanev. That's part of why I can't give him an MVP.
Yeah.
There's literally a defenseman on his team who was better. He's not the MVP. Unsung hero. Breaking up plays, physicality, not chasing the play, winning your minutes, winning your battles, being effective every time you're on the ice, pissing guys off. You know what he didn't do either? Take stupid penalties,
Yep.
parade to the box,
Yep.
just getting guys' grills, be physical, protect Stolars, protect teammates. He was one of my unsung heroes. The other guy, I bet on him tonight. It lost. Scott Laughton.
Yeah.
Scott Laughton did not score. I don't even think he
Man,
recorded
that
a point.
post, That
but
post, man.
he was
oh my
fucking
God. He was going.
Awesome.
Yep.
Scott Laughton, I said it after game 1. If he plays like that for the rest of the series, I don't give a shit if he scores a single goal.
Yeah.
I will take that all day long. And again here tonight. I watched Scott Laughton every time he was on the ice, and I thought to myself, thank fucking God he's a Toronto Maple Leaf, because he just wins his minutes, dude.
Yep.
He wins his minutes.
They end every shift in the ozone. It's incredible.
Unreal.
Incredible. And that block shot,
Unreal.
I think he gets a primary assist on that Willie empty netter too.
Unreal.
Well deserved. I just want to add on to your Tavares point, because I think he got a little blowback, but now I see Portugal flags everywhere. So,
Yeah, I know.
So maybe
They're all horny now.
not as much as I thought. You saw how valuable he is in the 7 minutes he missed when Zub elbowed him
That
in the
thing
head.
could have probably been over.
That was over. You saw
4
how
games.
valuable
Yeah.
just his presence on the ice is for everybody else around him.
Yeah.
It was what? How long was he out? 10 minutes? He missed 10 minutes of game time?
I think 8.
Of game
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
right?
of game time.
And you saw how important he is. So
Yeah.
love it. I love all your picks. I don't know. So everyone in the chat thinks Stolars was
Yeah.
the MVP? Oh.
Pretty unanimously almost.
I cannot agree with that.
Yeah, I thought he was really good, not great.
Yeah. I thought
We got a text in this one, in this game. I'm not going to say from who.
Yep.
This is the text Vic and I got at the same time. Get Stolar sucks. Get Wall in now.
Man.
I was dying laughing. I wasn't laughing. I was pissed.
Man.
Not
Oh,
at the guy
boy.
who sent the text, at the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't even know what to say. I was looking at the numbers beforehand, and they were
Scary.
very, very, very comparable
I know.
to our goalie last season.
I know. All right, let's wrap this thing up, Vic. 2 things. KPG, 1 Tkachuk down, 1 Tkachuk to go. Thanks
Love
for the
it.
super chat, KPG. He also says the VIP is the one guy, I don't know who did this, who spanked Greg like a jailhouse bitch.
Nice. Nice. Oh, no, that wasn't Greg. That was Pinto. Who smacked Greg?
Yeah, that was Pinto he hit.
Yeah.
Stolars?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It was.
All right.
Give us one more like.
One more like, and we'll get Vic
Give
to
us
do the
one more
spelling
like.
salts. Vic, before we get you out of here, before you go back to do producing duties, which you're literally volunteering time to do, by the way.
I'm asking for money.
As
I
you
know
should.
you're watching.
Hit the like button. Any final thoughts on Game 6 here tonight in this win?
67, baby. 67.
Patches.
Patches.
O'Houlihan.
I can't believe it was him.
I
The
know.
one good shift that line had
I know.
all night, and
I
it
know.
ends up in the back of the net. Pontus in front.
Unreal.
Domi digs a puck out behind the net. Okay, I will say one more thing that
Yeah.
I was talking to the boys about while we were watching. Is Patches is bad. Like, he's slow.
He can't move his legs. He looks like
can't
Jumbo
move,
Joe.
But he still somehow always finds himself
Right
in the
spot.
right place.
Yeah, weird.
He just knows, like, that was a Babcockism. He knows where to stand.
Yeah.
He knows where, like, in the first period, he hit the post.
6'6",
But it's just
long
because
stick,
he
knows
was-
where to be.
He was right in the right spot.
Yeah.
Couldn't finish, but he was in the right place. And for the game winner, again, he was in the right place. Kudos, Patches, 67, great omen. Go Leafs, go,
200
baby.
likes. Let's do the
200
salts. Let's
likes,
get you out of here
let's
on
do
these.
You have anything else? Anything good in the chat? Anyone chirping the stash or anything?
Um,
That was a good one. What do we got to do? What do you have left? Is that your best bet? I don't know what that was.
I had 2.
Why don't you just tell me?
I had 2, but I want to do it in the segment.
Yeah.
Okay.
You tell me.
Okay.
Because I missed it.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Vic's going over there. I'll keep reading the chat. We are going to wrap up here shortly. An hour 21 on the post game. If you want more Leafs coverage, you're going to get it tomorrow morning. Leafs Morning Take, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on this channel. But for right now, let's get to our best bet segment and recap what happened there. Want to get in on the action for the Stanley Cup playoffs at Bet365? They've got you covered. From game props, player props, totals, and the money line, you can even bet on futures like series winners, conference champions, the Stanley Cup champions, and much more. Whatever your bet is, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. An official partner of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you're someone you know has a gambling problem, visit connectsontario.ca. So, tonight was a positive. We basically flip-flopped of winning bets, losing bets, winning bets, losing bets. Tonight, we cashed, and we should have bet more, but it was William Nylander, anytime goal, plus 190. A $50 bet, half unit, profited us $95. And I'll hold on a second, but as we go to the second bet, but the first one that cashes, look, it's Willie Nylander. Big game guy. He always gets it done in these moments. The empty netter, the second goal to make it 2-0. Big goals from Willie, just stepping up in big moments. You gotta respect this guy in those closeout games. He always finds a way to get it done. You look at the core four, their stats in closeout games, it's William Nylander, top of the list. He scores again here tonight, and he cashes that one at plus 190. The other best bet, which I am not actually pissed about, but like, we were this close. Scott Laughton, 1/10 of a unit, $10 would have profited us, 140 on tonight. Anytime goal, plus 1,400 for Scott Laughton. He doesn't score, but holy fuck, we were close. It felt good. He looked good. It loses. That loses us $10, so we end up profiting $85 on the night here tonight. With that said, we got 2 things to go before we close out here tonight. Let's get to our play of the game. Vic's a fucking pro, man. Like, I can see the screen now, which I couldn't before. When I first showed him my board and how everything's set up, these guys like, okay, how is this going to work? How's it going to go? It took no time at all for him to absolutely dial in and get this thing going. Play of the game for me, Scott Laughton block. I would love to say Pacioretty. That's an honorable mention. I would love to say the Matthews goal to open things up. That was a big moment to just relieve some pressure, alleviate some pressure. It's Scott Laughton, dude. It's for me, it's Scott Laughton. It's a depth guy doing exactly what he's brought here to do. Fulfilling his role, doing his job, just being an absolute mutant out there. Scott Laughton blocks that shot. It allows the empty net goal to happen. I thought he was unreal. Honorable mention to Patches for his goal to get the game winner. But it's Scott Laughton for me. Vic, let's wrap this thing up. As he says in the chat, by the way, the Patches goal is his. Let's go to, there's no animation on this one. Let's get to our grade of the game. Send your grade of the game in the chat. I want to see what you guys have. Grade of the game for me. Do I do it? Series is over. It's on the road. Matthews on the board. Nylander, 2 goals, 1 assist. Marner on the board. JT looks good. Defense looks good. Depth looks good for the most part. Third liner, game winner. You close out the series against the Sens. A+. On to round 2. Fuck the Sens. Fuck the Demons. We'll figure it out when we get to game 1. But for the time being, I'm pumped. I feel good about this win. I feel good about a round 1 win. I feel good about, Vic, the fact that this is the second time in 9 years. Sad to say, but second time in 9 years, the Leafs are going to the second round in the Austin Matthews era. A+. Thank you all for watching here tonight. That'll do it for me on the postgame show. Thank you to Jay Rosehill for hopping in here and helping us break everything down. Thanks to producer Vic for stopping by. Thanks to Nick Alberga for joining us at the watch party here at Greta Bar YYZ. Thank you to our friends Greta Bar YYZ at 590 King Street West for hosting us. Thanks to all of you in the chat for the super chats, the likes, the comments, all of that. Ladies and gentlemen, Leafs Morning Take back tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. Eastern time to recap this one with a little bit more maybe of like a relaxed mindset than what we have here right now. But nonetheless, big win for the Leafs. You're on to round 2. Fuck the Sens. Fuck the Panthers. We'll see you guys in round 2 for my next Leafs Nation After Dark. Thank you guys for watching here tonight. We appreciate you all. Until round 2, keep believing.
For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos, make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.